guilty. They feel they become religious because they think that to become religious now, it's okay if I only know how to speak Arabic more, if I only know how to read the Quran more and to go up and down more, this is religion. So this is completely ignoring the second kalima, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu, the way of the Prophet now. That's why so many Muslims now, in the name of Islam, for the sake of Allah, they are putting the Prophet away. They're putting the Sahabi Kiram, they're putting the awliya Allah, they're putting the Salihin. They say it's only me and Allah. And they fall from the frying pan into the fire. It's only me and Allah, because I don't want to make a shirk. Yes, Allah says nobody is granted intercession. You understand? Nobody is granted intercession. Allah is saying in the Quran Kareem, except with His permission. That is very clear. Except with His permission. And who has the biggest permission? Who has the job of interceding? The Holy Prophet ﷺ. So now you're coming to Allah. What is the kind of relationship you want with Allah? Is it still, oh, don't punish me, now I must do all these things? Then you're doing all their praying like a donkey. Allah is not in need of our prayers. Allah is not in need of our worship. He's not in need of that. If everyone says Allahu Akbar, Allah is not going to become bigger. If the whole world denies Allah, Allah is not going to get smaller. So what kind of relationship you want with your Lord? This is a question that is coming from the heart. This is the question that is not coming from the head. This is not, I come into religion because I'm going to die, I'm afraid to be punished, now I'm going to. It's a stepping stone, that fear. But that fear, like I said before, it has to turn into a love of Allah, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not create us to fear Him. He did not put all this creation and put all this so that we fear Him. Allah is showing, if anything, His what? His mercy. His mercy. With the rain, He's showing the mercy. With the sun, He's showing the mercy. With the earth, He's showing the mercy. With each other, He's showing the mercy. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. And the awliya Allah is saying, there is 100 parts of Rahman. Only one part of Rahman, it is given to this world. Only one part. It is given to this world and to all of creation. From that Rahman that is divided, the most merciful, then you're going to find mothers having love for their children, animals having love for their young ones. Then you find that Rahman, you find that mercy. The 99 qualities, parts of that mercy, Allah is saying, I'm going to show to man on Judgment Day. And Rahim, it is extreme mercy, it is compassion. That one is a secret that Allah is saying, no one can understand what kind of Rahim that is. He's saving it. So when a man starts to come to understand, to run away from a trauma happens to him, he wakes up a little bit. Now he's pulling himself, he's waking up. He's waking up, he understands that there is a Lord. He understands he's a servant. What kind of servant do you want to be? Allah is not in need of donkey servants to do things by force. Allah could make everyone to become believer by force, but He didn't. Allah is saying, I want you to do it from your heart, voluntarily, sincerely. And I want you to come to me, to return to me. Anyone who passes, that's why in Islam we say, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. From Allah we came, from Allah we return. So we came from Allah. Now we're going to return to Allah. How are we going to return to Allah? We have to return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to return to Him. He's opening the way of rahmat. of mercy to return to him. That's why he's sending the prophet of mercy. He could have sent us a prophet that was going to be forceful, that was going to force, that was going to show forcing to the people to obey, but he didn't. In fact, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying you are not an authority on them. Your work, your job is to send them the message, to say the message to them. Which means that the heart of the believer must turn merciful, it must turn soft towards his Lord. And when your heart turns soft towards your Lord, it is impossible now that you're not going to have a relationship with the Holy Prophet ﷺ. You're not going to fall in love with him. You're not going to fall in love with those whom he loves, the awliya Allah too. It is impossible. Because it is not just fear and hate that you are with. There is a love that is there, that you want to return to Allah. So how are you going to make people who are thinking, okay, I'm going to be religious now, something happened to me, I'm going to return to Allah, and they start reading things on their own? Let it be, because today that's all people know. And people think all the answers are on the internet. And they go around and they say, didn't Allah say? Iqra, read. It means recite. It means proclaim. It doesn't mean read like that. Read. Because the Holy Prophet ﷺ did not know how to read. Jibreel ﷺ did not bring a book in front of him and says, read. He hugged him and he passed from his heart to his heart. And now he says, proclaim, recite, say, read. Read what is in your heart. Read in the name of your Lord. It is important. Because many of us, we read in the name of our ego, in the name of dunya, in the name of ambition, in the name of money. We read, meaning we go to school for that. We get knowledge because of that. But it is read in the name of your Lord. Already there is establishing a relationship. There is your Lord. You are a servant. You are not reading to become a Lord. You are reading to know your Lord, to know that you're a servant. And the ayat is continuing. Your Lord who what? Created you. So again, we are a creature. If they read that way, very quickly they'll find. But most people, they don't, because we are taught in the school system also. When we read something, we have to criticize. We have to read something, we have to question. We have to. It is not reading. Prophet ﷺ, he did not disobey. He did not critique what Hazrat Jibreel ﷺ was saying. All he said was his reality. I don't know how to read. Hugged him again. Read. I don't know how to read. He says, read again. Third time he hugged him. Then he says, read. This is how you're going to read. In the name of your Lord, who created you. So people, if they know how to read according to that, it's not going to be a problem. They can even read wrong things. But all the haqq they're going to get, all the batil is going to be left aside. Because for the past 100 years, they have destroyed this in Islam. The part of Muhammad Rasulullah, they have destroyed this. Because the part of Muhammad Rasulullah ﷺ, it continues with those ones who represent the Prophet. They are the Khalifas. Meaning authority, meaning guide, meaning murshid. They've destroyed that. So now nobody believes in that part of the kalima. Nobody believes in murshids. Nobody believes in guides. Nobody believes in khalifas. Nobody believes in authority. And they destroy the good authority and they put up wrong, bad, corrupt authority. And they say, you see, this is the reason why we should not follow authority. So people are now just, all they see about authority is wrong, is bad, is corrupt. Whether the authority is politicians, whether the authority is kings, or the authority is peers and sheikhs, especially the authority of the father, now is completely destroyed. So when that's destroyed like that, Allah is not leaving them alone. According to your level of sincerity, you're going to find. Because you're going to say now, I'm reading the books. but let me try to speak, to talk to the one who writes the books. I'm reading the books, but let me be in association of those ones that they are the authors of the books, that they know the book. It is good that they're coming to religion, but spirituality is something else. And these days, people are saying, oh, Naqshbandis, you're saying don't read books, you cannot learn anything. Well, what? We're not reading books and we don't know how to pray? It's so difficult? Subhanallah. To learn how to pray, to learn how to fast, is so difficult. It's so difficult. To learn all the fards that we're supposed to do, fardu ayn that we're supposed to do, it is so difficult. It is so easy. You don't need to read to know that. Majority of the people, since the time of the Prophet ﷺ, they didn't know how to read, but they were carrying all this fardu ayn properly. So it is not about the reading. But the problem is, everything now, all knowledges now, they're saying you must only get knowledge from reading. Not anything else, from reading. They're not saying get knowledge from a person. What, you think YouTube is a person? No. Person means you have to go in front of him, you have to spend time with him. Just like you do with a teacher. Can you go to school, through high school and through college and everything, just by FaceTiming your teacher all the time? Exceptions here and there, but majority, that's not the way. You have to sit and you have to spend time. Because it's not just you learning from the teacher. The teacher has to teach you, has to learn you first and to teach you. Then knowledge is going to get passed. So let them go their way. When in their reading, when something is open to them, something about the heart, something about the reality of that ilm, then maybe if they come to you and they ask, you can give an answer. That time it will. Then maybe when they are hooked on to asking questions of the heart, questions of faith now, and they're finding through the books, because in the past there used to be consensus. There's no confusion. There's consensus. Even the time of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, the time Sahabi Kiram, tabi'in, continuing, there's always consensus. People now scholars in this time, they're saying no, there was all confusion. There was so many opinions, so many mazhabs, there was complete confusion, but they don't say confusion because they don't like that word. They say it was very liberal. It was very free. Everyone can do it. It's not like today. Everyone is very forced. It was very free. No, there was consensus there. And that consensus means everyone is agreeing on that. Then there is no confusion with that. They may say, okay, everyone is agreeing that, yes, that. There may be some exceptions here, there, maybe a little bit here, a little bit there. That's okay. It's not for you. Doesn't matter. Consensus now. Continuing with that. Then there is safety in that. There is safety in what? Jamaat. That's why the term Ahli Sunnah wa Jamaat is the people who are continuing the traditions of the Prophet ﷺ as a Jamaat. Now there is no consensus. That's why the Ummah for 1400 years, they were saved from corruption also, because the scholars, they were not fighting with, they're trying to say today, oh, they are fighting with each other. What, you think the way that they argue things with intelligence, with adab, is the same as you on internet? You're making video and you're attacking each other. So when there's consensus there, people are guided. And with that guide, they were never stuck. Never, the Muslims, with consensus, that they were stuck. With that consensus, they're able to go further and further and further and deeper, whatever that they're doing, dunya or akhirah. But now there is no consensus. They don't want any consensus. If anything, they say we must open a new way. This is one of the signs of the last day, to open a new ijtihad, to open the doors of ijtihad. We're not happy with 4. Let's have 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 mazhabs. When the Declaration of Amman was signed, it did not just recognize the 4 mazhabs. He recognized, I'm not exaggerating when I say all the 73 wrong ways in Islam, 73 groups of Islam that the Prophet says only one is going to be saved. Those ones who put their signature there, they say no, everyone is going to be saved. Then what happens with that? Are people getting better? Are they getting more calm? Are they getting more clear about things? No, they're getting more confused. They're getting more confused because you're going against what your Prophet is saying. Because you think you know better. Because you think you know better. So the one who doesn't understand himself, doesn't understand his ego, is making him to look for this kind of knowledge, is only going to find what the ego is looking for. Asking, inshallah, the sincere ones, they're going to wake up. We're only reaching to those ones who are going to listen. Those ones who are not going to listen, we're not going to reach. We're not going to waste our time with them. It is not our job. It is not our duty. Doesn't matter even if it's family members. They're not going to listen, they're not going to listen. Our job is just to say. They don't listen. That's it. Don't fight with them. Don't argue with them. If they ask, then say, according to the limit of your understanding, according to the limit of your knowledge. Don't go more than that. Then when things started opening, you may say, okay, if you want, these are very good questions. Come, I have a teacher. Come and speak to him and ask. So a lot of the things that's happening now, without this consensus, there's a lot of corruption there. Which is why it is not advised for us to go running after reading, after things. It is not. Find one teacher. Stick to it. Inshallah. A teacher has to be in the way of the Prophet, ﷺ, the way of the Ahlul Sunnah. If they're deviating, there are so many people who claim they're Ahlul Sunnah, but they make fun. They make fun of the Sahabis. They curse. I'm not talking about Shias too. I'm talking about people who claim that they're Ahlul Sunnah. And they start fighting over things that's a non-issue now. This is one of the confusions of Dajjal. May Allah make us to wake up, Amen. Not to be busy with this kind of darkness. Wa min Allahu tawfiq al-Fatiha. Assalamu alaikum.